Monday morning, you open Spotify. Discover Weekly is already loaded. Track 1 starts. You don't skip. Track 2, you don't skip that either. By track 4, you're wondering how it knew. This song matches a mood you never told anyone about. That's not luck. That's a system that knows you better than you know yourself. You didn't type that mood into a search bar. You didn't tell a single person you were feeling this way today. The system didn't ask. It inferred it from what your thumb has been doing for months. You just picked up your phone the way you do every morning. Somewhere behind that screen, a system had already been paying closer attention than you were. By the end of this video, you will never press play the same way again. Let's start with the moment right after a song ends. You didn't press anything. The next track already started. There was never a moment where the app asked if you wanted to keep going. This is called autoplay, and it removes the one decision point that used to exist. The old decision was, do I want to hear another song? That decision doesn't exist anymore. It's made for you before you notice it needed making. You keep listening not because you decided to, because nothing ever asked you to stop. There used to be an edge to a playlist, a last song, a silence after it. That silence was a small, natural moment to check in with yourself. Autoplay fills that silence before you ever reach it. Every playlist you open works the same way. Podcasts inherited the same design a few years later. One episode ends, the next one is already queued, and the same missing exit applies there too. One long corridor with the exits quietly removed. Compare that to a physical album. Side 1 ends. You have to get up and flip it. That short walk across the room used to be the natural edge of a listening session. Streaming deleted the walk. The room never asks you to get up anymore. Here's the second piece, and it explains why some sessions feel unstoppable. Most songs in a shuffled playlist are fine. A few are exactly what you needed. You never know which one is coming next. This is called a variable reward, the same mechanism that runs a casino floor. Unpredictable outcomes release more dopamine than predictable ones. A playlist where every song was a guaranteed favorite would feel flat. The occasional miss is what makes the hit feel like it found you. You don't skip because you're committed to the playlist. You skip because you're chasing the next unpredictable hit. Slot machines don't pay out every pull. If they did, nobody would feel the pull to keep playing. Spotify's shuffle runs on the exact same math, just wearing headphones instead of sitting in a casino. Speaking of skipping, here's the part almost nobody thinks about. Every skip you make is logged. Not just that you skipped. When, exactly, in the song you skipped. Skip at second 3? That's a different signal than skipping at second 40. Which songs you replay, which you save, which you let play all the way through in silence. All of it becomes a profile far more detailed than anything you'd write about your own taste. You couldn't describe your own music taste this precisely if someone asked you to. Ask yourself right now what tempo you prefer on a Tuesday morning versus a Friday night. You don't have an answer. The system has thousands of data points that do. The system doesn't need you to describe it. It already measured it. It measured it in milliseconds you never noticed passing, across thousands of songs, over years, without you ever filling out a single form. This is where Discover Weekly actually comes from. Somewhere inside Spotify, a system compares your listening pattern to millions of other people's, not people who like the same artists as you, people whose behavior matches yours. Skip timing, replay habits, time of day, all of it, cross-referenced at a scale no person could do by hand. From inside that system, you're not a listener with taste. You're a pattern that resembles other patterns closely enough to predict. The playlist that feels hand-picked for you was never about you specifically. It's about which cluster you happen to belong to this week. Shift your habits slightly, and the cluster shifts with you, without any announcement. You feel like the app changed its mind about you. It just recalculated. Here's a detail that goes even further than song selection. The order of the songs isn't random either, even inside a playlist built for you. Every track has measurable features: tempo, energy, emotional tone. Songs get sequenced, so those features shift gradually, not abruptly. A jarring change in energy is an exit ramp. A smooth one keeps you in the same lane. You're not just hearing songs Spotify thinks you'll like. You're moving through a mood, engineered one transition at a time, Spotify's own engineers have written publicly about exactly this kind of audio feature sequencing. It's not a secret, it's just not something anyone announces while you're listening. Let's go back a few years to something else Spotify built quietly. Time capsule and other nostalgia playlists built from songs you listened to years ago. Hearing a song from your past does something a new song can't. This is called the mere exposure effect. Familiarity, on its own, creates liking. A song you've heard 50 times feels safer than a song you've heard once, regardless of which one is better. This is also why breakup songs and summer songs hit so hard years later. The song didn't get better with age. Your life got attached to it. Spotify doesn't need the song to be good. It needs the song to be familiar. Familiar keeps you listening longer than good does, on average. This is also why a song you hated at first can quietly become a favorite. Nothing about the song changed. The number of times you heard it did. Here's a layer most people never see at all, because it happens before a song ever reaches you. Record labels can opt certain songs into something called discovery mode. In exchange, those songs accept a slightly lower royalty rate per stream, and in return, the algorithm favors recommending them more often. From inside that negotiation, your personalized playlist has a small commercial layer built into it. Not every song recommended to you got there, purely because it matches your taste. You'd assume every song in your personalized mix earned its place the same way, through your own listening. Some got there because a label decided the trade was worth it. For a smaller artist, that trade can be the difference between being heard and being invisible. For Spotify, it means the recommendation engine is never purely neutral, no matter how personal it feels. You can't tell which songs came from which reason just by listening. That's not an accident. It's not supposed to be visible from where you're standing. Music Business Worldwide and several other outlets reported on discovery mode when it launched. It caused enough concern that some artists and labels publicly refused to opt in. The debate happened in industry publications. It never once appeared on your screen. There's a newer layer built directly on top of all this data, an AI voice that talks between your songs. It comments on your taste, introduces the next track, sounds like it genuinely knows you. It's built from the same listening history as everything else in this video. It just learned to talk to you about it. Now let's talk about the version of Spotify that isn't personalized at all. Yet, the free tier comes with ads placed at specific intervals, not random ones. It also limits how many times you can skip within a set period. Both of those are friction, and the friction is not incidental. Somewhere, a team tests exactly how many ads per hour is the edge of what people tolerate. Too few ads and free users never feel the itch to upgrade. Too many, and they simply leave the app entirely. It's calibrated to sit right at the edge of tolerable. Annoying enough that upgrading starts to sound reasonable. Not so annoying that you leave entirely. That balance has a name. The paywall is tuned, not accidental. Every skip limit you've ever hit was measured to land exactly where it lands. Premium exists as the version of the app with the friction surgically removed. You're not just paying for more skips. You're paying for the return of the decision points that autoplay and shuffle already took from everyone. Once a year, all of this becomes something you willingly share yourself. Spotify Wrapped turns your listening data into a shareable, colorful summary. Your top artist, your total minutes, your specific listening personality named for you. The personality label makes it feel less like data and more like a horoscope written just for you. A horoscope you can screenshot. A horoscope built entirely from a year of your own skip and replay data. You post it. Your friends post theirs. This is called social proof, mixed with something simpler. People like talking about themselves. Comparing your number to a friend's number is, itself, another reason to keep listening next year. The campaign costs Spotify very little to run, and it turns millions of users into unpaid advertising for 1 week every December. You didn't get paid to promote the app. You paid every month for the privilege of promoting it. There's a feature that does something similar, but between two people instead of one. Blend merges your taste with a friend's into one shared playlist. It also shows you a compatibility score between your two music tastes. Now, checking a playlist isn't just about the songs. It's about comparing yourself to someone else again. Every one of these features, on its own, looks like a nice way to share music. Together, they all point back to the same goal. More sessions, more often, shared with more people. There's one more layer and it runs on a schedule you didn't set. A notification arrives most Mondays. Your Discover Weekly is ready. Same day, most weeks, for years. This is called a fixed schedule layered on top of a variable reward. You know roughly when it's coming. You don't know exactly what's in it. Take away the schedule, and people forget to check it all. Take away the surprise, and the schedule alone isn't enough to make it feel worth opening. You need both pieces working together for a habit to actually stick. That combination is what turns a feature into a ritual. You don't decide to check it anymore. Monday just already includes it. Let's line all of this up. An autoplay system with the stop button quietly removed. A shuffle designed around variable reward. The same engine that runs a casino. Every skip, replay, and silence logged down to the second. A recommendation engine that matches your behavior to strangers who behave like you. Spotify has publicly described parts of this system as collaborative filtering, the same category of technique that once told you which movies to rent before it learned to pick your music. A sequencing system that engineers your mood one transition at a time. Nostalgia playlists built on familiarity, not necessarily quality. A quiet commercial layer where labels can pay, in royalty share, for placement. An AI voice built from your own data, sounding like it genuinely knows you. A free tier tuned to feel just uncomfortable enough to upgrade. A yearly campaign that turns your own data into free advertising. A shared playlist that quietly turns listening into a comparison with someone else. And a notification schedule that turned a feature into a weekly ritual. None of these pieces needed to be hidden to work. They just needed you to never look at all of them at the same time. The casino invented the unpredictable reward that keeps a hand moving. The mall invented the layout that's easy to enter and hard to leave with nothing. Spotify didn't invent either idea. It just set both of them to music and put them in your pocket. Every app chasing your attention is running some version of the same handful of mechanisms. Once you can name one, you start noticing it everywhere else too. Here's the part worth sitting with. None of this is illegal. None of it is even hidden, technically. The royalty deals are public record if you go looking. The skip data is in Spotify's own patents. The Wrapped campaign runs every December, in plain sight, celebrated rather than questioned. None of it was ever buried. It was just never the headline while you were listening. It works because almost nobody goes looking. It works because a song that feels like it was made for you feels personal, not calculated. Calculated would feel cold. Personal feels like being understood. The entire system is built to keep landing on the second feeling, every single time. And the next time your Monday playlist lands on a song that feels like it read your mind, some clear part of your brain is going to whisper, "I see what you're doing." We take them apart one by one. So if you'd rather see the system than be moved by it, you already know what to do.